The 1st of October is the ultimate lightning in the bottle band. It's just, you know, they write 10 songs in one day and then they release it. That's all there is to it. And I love it every year. I'm really anticipating this video. It's one of the things I'm looking forward to in each year. Yeah, I thought I'd just rank them. But let's just go chronologically here. 10 hours. This album means a great deal to me personally. It really inspired me a lot back in 2018 to write and not be too worried about how it comes out. I feel like it's a great album. I fucking love this one. It is rough around the edges a little bit, and it's probably the most minimalistic one. It's just all just guitar, drums, vocals, nothing special, no, you know, grand arrangements or anything like that. But it does encapsulate this lightning in the bottle quality very well. It does sell the concept amazingly. For being the first album, you know, it is great. And it is a flawed masterpiece, but I'm a big fan of flawed masterpieces. Dark Souls 1 is one of my favorite games of all time, and that says a lot. Just looking through the track list here, like the only track I think here is a skip every time for me is Possible Band Names.
Foo Fighters.
That's just filler. But it's just one song out of 10, and all the rest of them, I feel like you just throw this album on, you breeze through it, and it's a great listen. I especially like Rollerblading.
All my life. It's catchy.
Probably my favorite song, period. Every single one of these albums has this one acoustic ballad, and I feel like Don't Go is a very strong one among them. Yeah, 10 hours firmly into the S tier, despite its flaws, or even maybe thanks to its flaws. Really charming, really exciting album. Cannot recommend it enough. Gourmet Ravioli. This is probably the hottest take in this whole video. I don't like it. Despite the fact how iconic Ravioli, the song from this album is, probably the most popular song in the whole discography, I don't like this album. It really gives me a bad vibe. I feel like that's largely attributed to the video, but also the album itself, you know, if you just don't even watch the video and just listen to the album, I feel like it's the most unfinished sounding. The mix is really thin for some reason. I don't like how it sounds at all. But the biggest gripe for me is this feeling that permeates the album, the feeling of being unhappy with your work.
Oh, man.
Work could be instrumental.
No, I gotta...
The feeling of anxiety and just unease, feeling of failure, almost.
Should we start over?
I feel like the guys were not happy with this one, especially Rob. If you watch the video, I feel like it's absolutely apparent that, you know, the weight of the responsibility of following up the first one, considering how great it was too heavy. And I feel like the ambition and the anxiety of following that one up didn't do good for them. Of course, I don't know them personally. And I don't know how they actually feel about this album, but, you know, just from watching the video, this is the vibe I get. And another thing, a lot of autotune, especially on Rob's vocals here. And it's not, you know, I don't care about autotune, it's fine, it's whatever. But in this particular case, I feel like it really doesn't fit the spirit of the project. And beyond that, it feels like autotune out of insecurity. It feels like the vocals were not tuned to just make the song better. It was tuned to save a song that you feel like is a failure. You know, this feeling of tuning something to such a degree that you suck all of the soul out of it. That's what happened here. I feel like there's only 3 songs in this whole album that I like. One of them being 1st of October.
It's the 1st of October today.
Great song, great intro for the album. I hum this one in the shower every now and again. Another one being 31st of October. This one I feel like probably the only one that captures this chemistry between them.
Hey, 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 how you doing? Hey, 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 hello. I got a broad selection of everything Halloween you need. I'm intrigued.
And I also like Do You Want To, the finishing track.
Do you want to? Do you want to?
I will also hum this one in the shower occasionally. But the rest of them, Coffee Yeah, has 2 exclamation points in the title of the song. Really don't feel the excitement at all. The mix and the arrangement sounds really flat to me. The riff is extremely forgettable. Ravioli. I like Primus, and I like them ripping off Primus. In concept, I like it, but this You know, like I said, this auto-tune, this feeling of insecurity, this feeling of anxiety that permeates this whole album really kind of spoils this song for me. It also feels unfinished, just like all of them here. October 1, extremely forgettable. Climb That Mountain, extremely forgettable for me. Valerie, probably the worst acoustic ballad in the whole roster. Ben White is okay, and We Didn't Have Time to Get Lyrics on this one is probably the single worst 1st of October song out of all of them. Again, perfectly encapsulates this feeling of just hating what you just created. Just awkwardness. Just being awkward and ashamed of what you made.
Should we start over?
Because, I mean, we don't have them. Yeah. Oh, no.
I guess it's an important part of the creative process, and just, you know, not giving up after a dud. But, you know, it's not a feeling that I want to relive, and it's not a video or an album that I come back to often. So I don't feel like putting it into the F tier just because how iconic Ravioli is and how much people like it and meme it and talk about it. But yeah, it can't go much higher than D for me, I'm afraid. I really don't like this one. Number 3, Gotta Record Everything Good, Greg. In short, this one, I love this one. It's just back to back to back bangers. There's not a skip on this album. There's not a filler song on this one. It's just back to back to back strong songs. I love it. Miracle, probably the best acoustic ballad out of all of them, and a great way to kick off the album. Really personal song, really sweet. Feels so right. Great song, very fun song, maybe a little bit too many ad-libs. It's still fun, and I never skip this one. Bookmobile, a certified hood classic. There's nothing bad I can say about it. It's just really catchy, really memorable, really fun. Greg, a perfect example of how to encapsulate a new sound, a new texture into the formula of this project.
I'm Greg.
Proof of concept to me that they can branch out into different sounds and they don't have to get stuck into this, you know, rock and emo and punky type of scenario. This is really cool, especially compared to juxtaposed to We Didn't Have the Time to Get Lyrics in this one. You know, Greg is just amazing. Fucking the energy is off the charts, and also the mixing on this whole album is great. I gotta say, it sounds great. There's not much more to say about this album. It's just really solid, consistent, ambitious too. Sonically, I really like how it sounds. Yeah, S tier. Firmly in the S tier. Chaos. They went into this metal and Halloween themed direction, which is not exactly my bag. I don't usually like this type of metal, this monotonous, bottom heavy guitars and fucking... It doesn't do anything for me, and I don't like Halloween songs as well. I've never celebrated Halloween in my life. It doesn't do much for me. You know, going into this video, I was ready to put this into C tier or something like that, but I gotta say, upon re-listening to this album just for this video, I like it. It has grown on me. The chemistry is there between the guys. It is creative, it's unique. Even the metal songs, you know, the metal tropes that I really don't like, that I feel like generic, are subverted here in a way that gives it a new life, gives it a new spark. I think it bumps it up for me into B tier. A lot of cool references to previous albums as well, and Spooky Time, for example.
It's spooky time.
It's nice. Lonely Angel, pretty good. Love to Say I Love You, and it's nice. It's not my favorite, but I acknowledge its quality. For that, I'll put it into B tier. I feel like it's solid, although not my favorite. Okay, Across the Road, this new one just came out today, Thursday, October 26th. It's good. It's good, I guess. It's okay. I was. Oh, I got a Beatles mug, by the way. I was really looking forward to this one when they announced they were recording it in Abbey Road. I'm a big fan of the Beatles. I like it. I was anticipating this being a lot more, you know, after Chaos, a lot more sonically in the direction that I could get into. In some ways it is, but in some ways it isn't. They took this approach to, you know, paying homage to the Beatles with this really strange country-centric sound.
Jesus walks every man shall be drove.
Which, obviously, you know, I'm not American. I don't fucking... Country is... I have a video about country. I don't like country, but, like, I feel like the biggest gripe I have is the lack of Rob's presence on it. Just Rob's artistic voice doesn't come through as much. It's really Andrew-centric. And upon watching the video, it's very clear that Rob was just not in it. One of the biggest selling points of the project is the chemistry between the two guys, the working together, figuring stuff out on the fly. And this album really kind of lacks that. I like Andrew and I like Rob, but when they work together, that's when the magic happens. And on this one, I feel like it's the most separate. Yeah, the balance of power here was disturbed, and not in a good way. Now, obviously, Rob also mentions in the video he's been dealing with some kind of medical condition. I do wish him well. I hope he's okay. He's probably one of my favorite YouTubers and one of the most inspiring people. I've been watching him since I was a tiny little baby teenager, and yeah, I hope he gets well. It's just unfortunate that it affected this project in this way. And I do want to also mention that I think my favorite song on the album is Usually.
Lately, I'm just thinking wrong.
Even before I watched the video, just by listening through the album, that song kind of connected with me the most. Maybe just because by virtue of, the lack of Rob's presence on all the other songs. I don't want to come out too overly negative on this one. I do like it. It is very ambitious sounding. The arrangements are great on a lot of these songs. There's a lot of really epic overlaying vocals and vocal harmonies that are really impressive that they managed to arrange those songs so well in this short amount of time. So that gives them a lot of credit, I feel like, for this album. And I like listening to it. But yeah, this lack of chemistry and this lack of this dynamic that I've come to enjoy so much, that I feel like was the selling point of the whole project in the first place, really brings it down. For now, I gotta put it into the B tier. And that about does it for the video. I hope you don't fucking hate my guts. I hope you don't want to fucking kill me, raid my house, tear my guts out and just smear it all over the wall. I hope that's not what you want to do. But I can only hope. I can only hope and expect you with a gun, with a knife, and with a cell phone to the police. So yeah, have a good day. Listen to the albums. Tell me what you think of them in the comments. And I love you. Goodbye.